everyone, welcome back to Business Studies class. In last class we have started with types of plans. There we have seen different types of plans. So now we'll go with the classification of types of plans. I hope you remember the chart. There we have seen 8 types of plans, and now we are going to see the classification, how these 8 are divided. Okay. So we can divide this into two, that is single use plans and standing plans. Okay, single use plan and standing plans. Both the single use plan and standing plans comes under operational planning. So when you go into higher studies with regard to planning, then you'll understand the broad classification, right? But as of now you have to just understand plans are of two types, that is single use plans, okay, and standing plans. So single use plans are those plans developed by the organization or the managers in order to address, in order to tackle the unique non-recurring problems. Okay, standing plans are those, even standing plans are also called as repeated use plans. So these are the plans which are ready to face the recurring problems, okay, the problems which occur very often. In order to deal with such types of issue, we make standing plans. So here we can see the classification. Standing plans are also called repeated use plans, I said. So over 8 total we have 8 types of plans. So in that 6 types of plans we can write under the standing or repeated use plans. That is objectives, policies, procedure, you just correct the spelling, it is PRO, okay, then methods, rules and strategies. All the 6 we count under standing or repeated use plans. So what I said, repeated or standing plans are those which are already made, which are ready with the organization. Whenever the problem arises, the same thing will be applied. Clear? So for example, always you have extra bike with you, one more you have, okay. So whenever you are the bike what you are using, if you are facing some trouble with that, immediately you will be using some other one, okay. So that is a standing plan for you. Because whenever this goes wrong, you just use that particular vehicle. So those are called your standing plans. So in that we have objectives, policies, procedures, methods, rules and strategies. What are they? We'll see in detail. We'll start with objectives. So as we know, we have studied the objectives of business, isn't it? Okay, objectives are nothing but end goals, targets towards which the organization generally moves. And we say these are the objectives which are the basis for your organizational establishment. So standing plans are like achieving or earning maximum profit, wealth maximization, helping the society, establishing some of the institutions in order to give some free services to the poor people. Like this, all this comes under your objectives, right? So a company, a business, when it has some goal, a target to be achieved, we call them as objectives. So it is one type of plan. And then policies. Policies are the frameworks. Policies are the frameworks to an organization within which it has to act. Whatever may be the decision the organization or the manager has to take, he has to take within the framework of this policy. Okay, if I say recruitment policy of an organization, it differs from organization to organization. Example, I'll tell you, a particular organization has a recruitment policy where they decide when they have some 10 vacancies, okay, 10 vacancies, so 40% has to be recruited. 40% of employment vacancies has to be filled with the local people and 60 from the outsiders. Is it clear? So for example, if I have an industry, I have a company in Hospet region and I have vacancies now, I have to recruit people. So what is my company policy is, for example, 10 vacancies I have, 40% in the sense 4 4 vacancies, that is 4 persons, 4 employees I have to recruit from hospital region itself. Remaining 6, that is 60% I can recruit from other places. Why such policy is made? Because I feel that I have to help my society, I have to help the society where I am existing. So I am in hospital region, so I want to help some hospital region people. So whenever I have come out with vacancies, in that 40% I have to recruit from hospital region itself. This is what your recruitment policy. All organizations may not have such policy. Some might have 100% local people or 100% external people. It depends upon the organization. So those are the policies I say. So whenever there is a vacancy, they have to see the recruitment policy of the organization, and accordingly they have to move. Similarly, investment policy. See, you know about shares, debentures, right? So company will be having investment policy like this. 10% I have to get it from shares, 20% I have to get it from debentures, and some other percent, like 50% I have to go with loans. Like this, the policy will be there to an organization. Whenever the company want to get the investment from the public, it has to see the investment policy and it has to go according to that. Hence we say policies are the frameworks. Policies are the framework within which the organization has to decide whenever the need arises. So can you make the difference between objectives? Objectives are the end goals what the organization want to achieve. So policies are the frameworks within which the organization has to take decision. In general example, if I say policy, you might heard a phrase like honesty is the best policy, people say. Honesty is the best policy, say. People say. What it means? Whatever may be the situation, I should be honest. Whatever may be my external and internal conditions, I should be honest in every proceedings of my life. Everywhere I should be honest. So honesty I cannot overcome. Whatever may be the situation, honesty is my framework. Whatever decision I take with regard to any angle of my life, I want to have honesty. Is that clear? So it is a general example, but when it comes to the matter of organization, we say recruitment policy, investment policy, management policies, like this. Then third one is procedures. It is procedures. The word is commonly used. Procedure. You might heard. When recruitment has to be taken, there will be some procedures. When you have to apply for something, there will be some procedures. You cannot apply as you like. For example, you have to deposit some amount into the bank. Yes, you have a procedure. You have to fill the form, paying slip you have to fill, that has to be given to the cashier, then cash has to be given, then he deposits, and later on you will get message. Like this, steps will be there. Hence we say it is procedure is a sequence that is chronological order of tasks to be done. So it is also one type of plan. When organization decides something, even it should say what is my procedure. See, every organization may not have same procedures in doing the same work. For example, I have an industry where I produce iron, and some other industry, XY organizations, industries are there, both are the competitors, both come out with the same product. Same, like you take cement. The output of both XY company is nothing but your cement. Okay. Then the procedure what they actually follow in their industry differs. Means what are the tasks they follow? What is the first step? What is the second step? What is the third step? What they follow will differ. One more example, if I will be interested to give you, like whenever you want to take some admission into a college, you will be having a procedure. First you have to take application form, brochures like that, then you have to fill the application, that has to be submitted. Later interview call will be there, you have to attend the interview, then you will be given there will be some negotiations, then after you will be given with some confirmation whether you are accepted or not, that is you are admitted into the college or not. Is that clear? So such a sequence of orders is called your procedure. Even that is a type of plan, a standing plan. Why we consider is, every time the procedure does not change, we'll be setting a particular procedure for a particular work. Is that clear? Then fourth one is methods. Methods. See, in procedure we have seen different tasks which has to be done in a chronological sequence. That is, in the sequence what should be the first task, what should be the second task, third, fourth, fifth. Like this 5 tasks if you complete, you will be arriving at the end. This is your procedure. Your method says how the first task has to be done, what method I have to follow. For example, I want to motivate my employees. This is my objective. My policy is with minimum cost is my policy. So I have to hire the motivators, the trainees within my cost. So how the motivation has to be done? First, I have to select the people to whom I have to give training. This is what the procedure I am saying. First, I have to select. I have to take them concern, that is they are interested to attend or not. If they give me in writing, yes, they want to attend, then I call them to the training. Okay, these are the 3 important tasks in my procedures in attaining my objective, okay, of increasing the efficiency. Now, how I select the employees? First one is selecting the employees, then taking confirmation, and then calling them to the training. This is the procedure. 3 tasks are involved. 3 tasks, that is a procedure what I follow in order to train my employees. Okay, so how the first task has to be done, that is how I am going to select to whom I want to ask them to attend the trainers. On what basis I am going to select, whether I am going to select on their experience or their interest or something else, their efficiency. So that is what your method, or in what way you are doing this. And next, I'm informing them. I want to take their confirmation. In what way you are taking confirmation? Whether you are taking oral confirmation or you are taking the confirmation in writing. This is the method. Third, I want to call them to the training. How you are going to call them? You are giving them any invitation or just your oral communication you are making. Once they come to the training hall, how you are going to give them training? Off the line training or on the job training? That we will be learning later. But directly in the classroom you are giving, or actually in a working place you are giving. That is what your methods. So in procedure we will be seeing what are the different tasks has to be done one after another. How a particular task has to be done we will be learning under method. So method is also one of the standing plan. Then comes 5th one is rules. Rules are the orders. Rules are the orders to the organization made by the top level management. So we have many rules. Okay, generally when we enter into the college, we have some rules like ID card is compulsory. Okay, and like in some other institutions, even your dress code will be there. Dress code you have to maintain. All these are called rules. You cannot carry mobile inside the class. So all these are rules. So rules are also standing plans or repeated plans which are made in order to maintain discipline in the organization. So rules are not made just as like that. Rules are made by the experts. Okay. So rules are disciplinary actions which are very essential in an organization. It is also a type of standing plan. And last one is strategies. Strategies. So strategies are a type of plan. To be frank, a strategy and the objectives both are called comprehensive plans. Very typical things. Okay. So we say strategy is a comprehensive plan. It's a type of plan which you make after seeing your enemy's plan. So when there will be a need of strategy, in the sense when you want to face a particular situation which occurs on a repeated basis, you have a particular way to tackle it. In general thing, I will tell you, general example we say, hit the iron when it is hot, we say. Hit the iron when it is hot. Iron, it is a strong metal generally. It cannot be so easily, we cannot bend that. But when it is heated, it can be we can use, we can mold it in any ways how we like. How it is possible? It is only because of the heat. We have heated the iron and now it has changed its form and now we can mold the iron. Is it clear? So that is one of the strategy example, general example. But in an organization, whenever you see your competitor is coming out with a new type of plan, now you start developing a new plan for yourself in the light of competitor's plan. For example, your competitor has reduced the price and hence the demand for the product increased. Okay, so it has a negative effect on you because your demand has been decreased because the prices of your competitor has been reduced, hence his demand for the product increased. And now, in order to strengthen your demand, increase your demand and give a tough competition to your competitor, you have to develop a plan which is called a strategy. See, it is said, a general phrase said, whenever you are about to be in the battlefield, the initial thing is you have to identify the strengths and weaknesses of your opponent. You have to find out the strengths and weaknesses of your opponent, so that his weaknesses should be your strength. You have to maintain or you have to equip yourself with such things where you can strongly give strongly you can fight against your opponent. Is it clear? So a strategy is a type of plan which a manager develops after seeing the competitor plan. Okay, so we say it is a comprehensive plan. To be frank, these objective and strategies are not included in your repeated plan. We can, but also that can be in our broad classification we can consider it, it's no issue. But when you go into higher classes, we study these objectives and strategies in a different way. Okay, as if you are studying, we are going with the basic things, you have to understand like this. So strategies are the types of it is one of the comprehensive plan which is made in the light of competitor plan. So this is about your standing or repeated use plans. Now we'll see single use plans. So single use plans are also called as ad hoc plans. Ad hoc in the sense emergency plans. So under that we have programs and budgets. So program is a precise plan, we say. So it's a clear-cut plan made by an organization which includes objectives, policies, methods, everything. See, for example, a company comes out with thinks of coming out with a new product, launch a new product in the month of December of year end 2020 December. I have to come out with the new product. This is my objective. Accordingly I make policies, accordingly I make procedures, methods, rules, everything. So entirely I call this as a program. Is that clear? So program is a precise plans, clear cut explained plans which includes the standing plans also. And the last one is budgets. Whenever a plan is explained in terms of money, expense, revenue, we call it as budget. Is it clear? For example, program we have decided. Okay, for that we have made objectives, policies, methods, everything we have prepared. And now we explain that for planning we have to spend like this. In order to hire this particular method, we have to spend this much amount. Like this, when we add some monetary values to the things, we call such plans as budgets. You might be knowing, people will be saying sales budget, like purchase budget. I have to go with purchase of this, but what amount is granted to me, that is what, if you explain the purchase activity in terms of money, we call it as budgets. Okay, so single use plans are those which are made specially in order to face a particular thing. So budgets are prepared in that way. You know, whenever you have a program, then your budgeting will be done. What may be the expenses for this? So your programs, your whatever may be the objectives, policies, or whatever it may be, when it is expressed in terms of monetary values, we call it as budgets. So these are your single use and repeated use plans. Now we'll see the difference between few types of plans. Initially, policy and procedure. Okay, policies, they are general statements, whereas procedures are the specific statements. Policies, what it is? I said it is a framework. It is a framework within which you have to take a decision. So it just says your limitation, I mean your limits within which you have to act. How you exactly act, it does not say anything, but you have to act within this. It means you have to stay at home. What you do at home, I don't mind. You may watch TV, you may go with reading, you may go with handwriting practice, whatever you can do, but you have to stay at home because of this COVID-19. So that is the policy. Okay, you have to stay at home, that's it. What exactly you have to do, I don't say, that is your policy. But procedure says they are very specific. I said procedures are the sequence of tasks. So what should be first, what should be next, and what should be the next. This is what your procedure. For example, my policy that you have to stay at home, my procedure says that first you have to go with your particular subject, business studies, then you have to go with accounts, then you have to go with statistics, like this. I just set a task for you. That is what your procedure. Is it clear? Then policy, second thing, it guides decision making. Policy guides decision making. As I said, policies are the frameworks. It helps the decision makers. What is my limit? Okay, I cannot do anything. For example, today I want to decide something, whether I have to go with studies or not, whether I have to spend time with my family members, like this I want to take my decision. So whether I have to meet my friends, like this I have many issues, many things in my mind, I want to decide something. So first I have to remind my policy. What is my family policy? I should not go out. This is my decision. This is my policy. So when I want to take a decision, I have to keep the policy in mind. So I cannot go out. If I want to maintain, if I want to have a talk with my family, I mean my friends, I can just call them. I cannot literally meet them. Is that clear? So whenever you want to take a decision, you should aware of your policy. Clear? Hence we say policy guides the decision making, but procedure, it actually guides the action. What you have to do, it says. I hope you clear. This can be asked for 1 hour, 2 marks. You should be clear with this. Then comes procedures and methods. Procedure and method. What I said about procedure, this is the sequence of tasks to be done. Method says how a particular task in the procedure has to be done. It says, method says. Okay. It specifies the steps to perform a particular task. As I said, procedure says that first you have to go with business, then accounts, then stats. Okay. But method says it prescribes particular manner or a way to perform each task. Here you should be clear. I said first business, then accounts, then stats. Your method says that how your business studies has to be understood. You have to refer your textbook, you have to write once, you have to learn and write once. This is the method. Okay, second step is accounts. So first accounts you have to practice 3 times. This is the method I am saying, how you have to work out. Your procedure says first business, second accounts, and third stats. Your method says how first business studies has to be studied, and then how accounts has to be practiced, and then how statistics has to be practiced. So method clearly says how a particular task has to be done. Hence procedures are not in detail, it just says the task. What is first, what is next, and what is next, it says. Methods, they are in detail. Method says how the first task has to be done. I hope it's clear. Then third, difference between policy and strategy. As we know, policies are observed in general, but strategies are formulated to meet business contingencies. So policies are the frameworks that has to be observed, that has to be seen, and decision making has to be done within that. But what are strategies? Strategy, whenever your competitor is coming out with an issue, you have to develop and you have to give a tough competition to your competitor. That is what your formulation. That is, you have to prepare a plan to meet your business contingencies, problems. They may be required at all times. Policies are required at all times. Okay, that is a standing plan. Once I prepare a policy for myself, and that will be there for number of years. So that is at all time. Whenever I want to go with a particular task, I have to see what is my framework. So I said recruitment, I said investment. When I want to go for recruit people, I have to see company's policy. Whenever I want to take the investment, I have to see the company policy, how I have to acquire the funds. But strategies, they are not like that. They have to be made only when there is a crisis. Only when the problem arises, I have to make. The strategy may be same. sometimes even that might be same. So whenever I want to bend the iron, I want to heat it. Is it clear? But I don't do it. I don't every time see at that. Only when problem arises, then I'll use that strategy. Hence we say it is a standing plan. It is a comprehensive plan because it has to be formulated according to the competitor plan. Third, implementation of policy can be delegated. It means implementation of policy. Some policies are applicable only to the purchase department. Some policies, see for example recruitment policy, to which department it is concerned? It is concerned only to the HR department. So investment policy, to which department it is dealing with? To the finance department. Other department may neglect this, but your strategies cannot be delegated. Neglected in the sense other departments can be, because that is a task given to a particular department. So recruitment policy is given purely to whom? HR department. Investment policy is purely given to whom? To the finance department, but not to the other departments. Okay, so a delegation in the sense giving the authority, giving the power to do the task. Okay, but strategies cannot be delegated. Strategies has to be formulated by the topmost people, because you are dealing with your competitor. Hence generally we said strategies are developed type of plan which are particularly developed by the top management, that cannot be delegated to the any other department. Though it might be a sales issue, it may be a sales issue. Your competitor has come out with the less price and demand has been increased. So this is the issue of whom? To be frank, sales department, a revenue department. But also all other departments are affected, influenced if this department does not act correctly. If you don't develop a right strategy to fight against your competitor, all other will be in loss. So this will be taken by whom? The top management. It is not only the marketing, it is not only the revenue department which thinks about your strategy. It is the company top management thinks about formulating a strategy, because they have to consider everything in order to formulate a strategy which is done in the light of competitor. And we have policy and objectives, difference between policy and objectives. So as we know, policies are made in order to take a decision. Or why you want to take a decision? In order to achieve your objectives. So it is a means, it is a way. Policy is a way to achieve your objective, but objectives are to be achieved. Okay, they are not considered as basics to the organization. Policies are not the basics for the organization, but your objectives are the reason for their existence. They can even determine by lower level of management. Policies concerned to their department, they can decide, but overall objectives are decided by whom? The top management itself. As we know, HR department may come out with having its own policy, which may be later approved by the top management, but HR department cannot have its own objectives. The objectives will be determined by the top management itself. Like that, policies can be determined by the different levels, like some policies will be made by the top management, some might be lower level or even middle level, but objectives generally it will be made by the top level management. So go with the difference. It can be asked for 2 marks, even 1 mark, fill in the blanks there somewhere it might be asked. So notes you have, and even what are the essentials of policy you have that I have not included in this video. Please go with the notes and try to understand the topics. As usual, if you have any doubts, you can just give me a call. I hope here we'll end the chapter. We have seen meaning, definition of planning, then features, then benefits or importance with limitations, and types of plans, and the difference between the different types of plans. This is most important chapter. So you have to have a basic knowledge of different types of plans, because when you are into higher studies, once you complete your PUC and when you get into degree classes, it is very essential to have a basic knowledge. There everything may not be explained from the initial stage. So whenever someone says policies, immediately you have to recall that policy is a framework. Objectives, targets. Like this, you have to have a quick response to the things. Okay, so in that way you study the things. I hope you are getting the things. Till we meet in our next class, take care.